Can you tell everybody about Sybrit and see who wants to go? Yeah, what's the announcement, Coco? Just the bouncing part. Can we ask Steven to get us a disco ball? Very essential and we need it for Friday night to get the ambiance. I'm all prepared. Would you like tea? All right. Thank you. Thank you. And I need water. Do you need some water? I need water. Guys, I love you! Today I received the news of my exit package from the corporate world. I'm officially free. Did you think you'd do lots of presents on your way out? No, it's still like I'm going to be there until March 15th, but I'm officially unemployed. And I'm very excited about it. Congratulations. Coco would like to taste us on it, honestly. Many. There's a kirtan singer who's performing at the Angel Organs Theater on Norfolk Street, and it's April 7th, I believe. It's a Saturday night, and we thought if you look it up, it's SIMRIT, and it looks like something you want to do, we can go together. The tickets, Simrit is her name. She's a Kundalini singer, but she doesn't only sing Kundalini, and it's just fun. The space is fun. I think the tickets are a little expensive, but it's up to you. It's 45, 55, 70. The mezzanine, it's like a small theater, and it's kind of fun to sit up top, and I thought it could be a fun girls' night, significant others, nights out. And so if it's something you want to do, let us know by Sunday, and then we could order the tickets together, or you could order your own. It's kind of first come, first serve for tickets when you get online that night. I mean, when you have your ticket and you want to go see yourself, so we could either buy them together or buy them separate. If you're interested in going, it's an invitation. Let us know by Sunday.
Which Saturday?
April 7th, I think. It's either the 6th or the 7th. I can't remember. It's the day that we're in. Yeah. So the show is at 8. It's on Norfolk Street, Lower East Side. So we could have dinner after we finish, and then the concert's probably like 2 hours maximum. And then, so if that works for you and you like it, let's go together and have a night together. Let's figure out a place to eat together and then go dancing. And when we graduate, the first week or so of May, Coco and Hector are leading a retreat to Nicaragua. That's another thing we want you to think about doing, because it would be really awesome time to go on retreat. Right in. So it's 7 days, lovely food, lovely location. And then we finish with 3 days renting a beautiful home on the beach and just enjoying and celebrating nature and life and good company. So if that's something you want to do, let us know. I'm sure we probably have a special discount for our TTs, I'm sure. We have to ask Steve what it is, but I'm sure there is. Anyway, how are you all? Welcome back. Any questions? Anything that came up in the past week? Did everyone finish doing a class transcription? How many finished? How many are halfway? How many are less than halfway? Did you at least start doing it? You picked the class. Yeah. Because we still have to start, but everyone else. So does Lynn. Okay. So it's a big undertaking, so just. We don't want it to pile up because you have one to do every month. So let us know what we can do to help that happen for you, Lynn. And,
April 2? Yeah, April and
March.
April. There's 2 more, so we want you to get that done. If you want to like come, let us know what we can do. If you want to come do it over the house or hang out, so you have like make an appointment, whatever you need to get it done, let us know how we can help.
I thought tonight we would spend a little bit more time on hands-on assist.
Yay!
I was thinking we could just go through assist for the sun salutation.
Perfect, necessary.
Sun salutation A and B. And then we'll all have a chance to take everyone through the sun salute, and we can switch on and off practicing and assisting, and we can go kind of slowly and break it down, and just to give you more opportunity to check out what it's like putting your hands on each other.
Yeah, it's a subtle thing to get used to. So you need feedback, you need to feel what it feels like on you from a couple of different people, and you need to know what it feels like when you have your hands on different shapes of bodies.
So why don't you get out your notebooks, and I will go through the sun salutation with Coco in the middle, just kind of giving you the points that are good places to assist, and then we'll just keep doing it a few times until we really feel like we've got it. Sounds like a plan, Sam?
So when you assisted me in Twist, like about 20 minutes ago, I mean, I was like, like, I thought I was going to be the person that walks out of the room in tears. So just to tell you, just give me some feedback.
Why? Did I hurt you?
No, because I just felt a release.
Oh, okay.
A release on another level. Like what Sierra had talked about, like you don't know what's gonna like bubble up.
Oh yeah, you don't know what's in there, bringing stuff out. It's so
Yeah. Oh, thank you. I'm glad that you had that experience and not a negative one.
Not what?
Not a negative one.
Oh yeah, no, very, very positive.
Someone told me about the story about wolves and animals and how when they have that fight or flight instinct going, and when they have to like shake things off, they're always like making their body shake. They shake off all of that trauma or all that high intensity. And like for human beings, it's like, well, where do we shake and process and get rid of like stuff that's happening to us all day? There's little traumas and big traumas and deep traumas and childhood traumas. There's just so much. It's like, how do you process it, shake it, and release it and be done with it? And yoga, physical postures, all that breath work, that's one of the ways that we do it. It shakes up the subtle body, the stuff that we're holding on to that we think are fixed, and it helps us process that. So it's beautiful. And then all that heart opening, going to fear, bowing into yourself, for sure, it's bound to bring up. It's so related, everything in our body with what's going on in our minds and our hearts. It's in there, stored in there, and we have a tool to face it and process it. So that's nice when you're in a safe place and creating a safe place for students to have those experiences and let it be okay, which we should probably talk about at some point too. What do you do when your students, you see someone going through something? Oh, maybe that's with Jenna and trauma. Okay.
We talked about it last week with Sierra, and Annika will be doing a lot of that.
All right. So good.
That's that weekend, actually, with Simmer. Okay. What's the first pose? The sun salutation A. Awesome. So in Tadasana, it's not really like, that much of an active pose, but there are lots of ways that you can help someone feel more steady, more centered, right? So a lot of what I like to do in Tadasana is just place my hands on the hips, kind of squeezing in toward the center and sort of like inserting the legs down into the floor. So it's like, you can't really see what's happening, but it's like squeezing in with the hands and then kind of settling down into the legs. So that's one. A nice way to just kind of like help people feel steady on their legs, but also because you're anchoring their hips down, as they're breathing, they can feel more space in the side body. Right, so it's kind of like a double.
She's interested to stack my bones.
Yeah.
The center of my bones, right in the center of my gravity, well, the center of my plumb line. Yeah. She's sitting me right on top of my hips, on top of my knees, my ankles. She's centered.
She's very centered. Another one for Tadasana is hands on the shoulders. Just kind of, it depends like how, like Coco's shoulders aren't up, so it would be more just for me to kind of, again, ground her and center her. Sometimes you'll see people with their shoulders shrugged up or rounded forward, so you may need to like guide them down. If they're really rounded forward, sometimes I'll put my hands on their back to like encourage them to like bring their shoulder blades more together. So that's more like for the shoulders, either settling them down, opening them through the heart maybe. Yeah. And you just have to be careful because now that I've done this, like now she's like, oh, maybe she's starting to squeeze a little bit too much. So. And for some of you, you might have to come forward and say, oh, knit your ribs together. Breathe into my hand in the back and open the back of the head. Okay. Another nice one in Tadasana is just coming back and like putting your thumb and your index finger on either side of the heel and drawing the heel down toward the floor. That will really help people feel. So it's nice because it feels like you're stretching the back of like the Achilles or something. Yeah, and the feet are really solid. If someone's kind of like slumped in their Tadasana and not really standing up tall, another nice one is just like fingertips right on the crown of the head. That encourages someone to kind of elongate their whole body.
So you talk about ears over shoulders or.
Yeah, that's what you can look. You want to like look at people from the side and from the back to see what they need, right? So if her, say her head was forward, like her chin was forward, right? I'm like, oh, you know, her ears need to come back. Then I might like bring my fingertips to the base of her skull and lift up. Yeah. Drawing her skull back and up.
You already showed what happens. I have this tendency because it feels so open.
Oh yeah, they're really open and like swinging their shoulder tips back. Yeah, you can say draw the front ribs together and you kind of like bring your fingertips like right here. Yeah, just kind of like, and you can also place your palm on the middle of the back, like right between their shoulder blades. They breathe into my hand, and that helps people just to remember that they have a back side of their body too. So that's Tadasana. What's the next pose? Utthita Hastasana or Urdhva Hastasana. So going from Tadasana to Urdhva Hastasana, I actually like to have the hands on the hips because then as they draw their arms up, they don't forget that their legs are connected to the ground. Yeah, and then you just notice, oh, did the shoulders come up? And then maybe you just like press your hands onto their shoulders to, yeah, encourage them to relax through the shoulders. Okay, so those are, I think those are the main, plus the same ones that you did in Tadasana, you might have to do them. What, hands together? I don't really call it, I just let people do what they want. Sometimes I think hands together gives people too much crunchy shoulders. Okay, what's the third pose? Uttanasana, fold forward. Okay, so here, once they're in the pose, I like to just place my hand right at the top of the sacrum. Okay, just like applying gentle pressure right down. Like if you looked from the top down through the middle of the leg, that's where you're putting your hand. Okay. And then I'll encourage them to lift up through their hips. Okay, you can also take your other hand and like guide the spine to lengthen down. If the neck is kind of crunched, you can like encourage them to release the head down. Okay, can you stand back up to Urdhva Hastasana? Arms up. Now, when they're folding forward, if you're with them and they're transitioning, you may want to hold onto their hips as they fold forward and kind of guide the pelvis to tip forward. If someone is doing something weird, just keeping their pelvis tucked under, when folding, that might be a way you direct them in the transition of the pose, okay? Your forward fold has to start from your pelvic tilt, all right? So if you see someone who's like this and trying to forward fold, this is what it looks like, right? Because their pelvis is not, they're not incorporating their pelvis into the forward fold, right? So it has to actually be from here. Right, that's what I was talking about when I was saying like a bowl, and you're like tipping it forward. It's the pelvic bowl that we have to tip to find a good forward bowl.
It's a hinge that's happening
Hinge,
from,
yeah.
actually from the femur and the pelvis. Long thigh bone.
The way it sits into the pelvis on Pat, who's not.
Oh, is it
Okay.
Can I take a look and play with Pat for a little while? But to see how the bones are actually working, because it looks different from the bone structure when you roll the pressure. You can see exactly what the bones are doing, which will help your assist.
So forward fold, like hand on the sacrum. Then what from forward fold? So I usually just like draw this, like I'll have one hand on the upper spine and I'll just draw it back to encourage them to lift their spine. It's not really like a huge assisting pose. It's kind of still like anchoring them here with your hand on the sacrum and then just like encouraging them to go from fully folded to reverse it. Good. All right.
Would you ever do anything with like neck lengthening there if they're
I never have.
crunchy?
It's just because it's like they're kind of down there. So if you notice someone's neck is, yeah, if they're like in the pose for more than a breath, and you can come over and like give them more length. Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's not, that doesn't really come up that often. to tell you the truth.
You can kind of use your verbal cues first, and then the gentle hand suggestions that she's doing as she touched. And that starts to give us a feeling of our back body that we're not aware of in a different way. But we can't see what we look like for the most part when we're in this posture, and it helps us give us some spatial reference, the hands-on.
All right, so next is Chaturanga Dandasana. Mostly in Chaturanga, the assist you're giving is to help people avoid lowering down too much. So come halfway, start coming down, and I'm just putting my hands, ooh, that's like the limit to where I want her to go. So I'm just kind of like saying, ooh, stop right there. You can do it under the shoulders, or come back up to plank. Yeah? You can do it at the sides too. So go ahead, lower down, and I'm just like, boop, that's it. Yeah. And then you can keep your hands there for upward facing dog, like keeping the thighs lifted. Okay? If you were at the front, then maybe you just want to keep the shoulder blades opening. And I like to give them something behind them if I'm going to be giving this assist for more than like a couple of breaths. So you would come with your knees into the shoulder, like around the shoulder blades basically. Okay? Otherwise, it's just like a quick, like, open through the chest while they're going. That's downward facing dog. So there's like different choices that you'll make based on how long people are in the postures. Okay?
You're doing hands-on, so you use your body to show how low you can go.
Yeah, I put this in my Instagram story today.
Funny.
So
Do you like
funny.
it or do you not like it?
Yeah, I would, if you ever want to practice with blocks, yeah, you can give your students that, like just blocks underneath their body. I think it's like this. There's one under the chest and one under the thigh.
Because we don't know
Just
how.
make people do chaturanga over their blocks, and then they won't go so low. Genius. Okay, and so downward facing dog. There's several for down dog. All right, so first one is always the foundation. So like making sure the hands are placed, and then just like coming over and like I like to focus on the inner webbing between the thumb and the index finger. I'm going to apply pressure on the hands. Okay, or you can come back and do the same kind of heel thing, lengthening the heel down in the back. Okay. You can lift from the hips, so you put your legs on either side of their leg. Find the hip crease and lift up and back. So you're kind of like lifting them out of their hands a bit, so their spine is lengthening, okay? In this, you have to really make sure your feet are planted, your weight is moving back, your hands are in the right place, or else it feels kind of like weird.
Her hands are on the,
Iliac crest
in the front.
in the front, the bony part. If you're gonna go from the front, you wanna take warrior stance, find the bony part of the sacrum, and push up and back. Okay, it's really direct. The heel of my hand is just on your sacrum, pushing back. Okay, and then the other one for the arms, if someone is really internally rotating in their upper arms, I usually just come in and go with the external rotation in the upper arms. Kind of giving them a little reminder to find their space there. Okay?
Are you doing behind the legs? The inner rotation or
I
with the
don't do
strap?
that one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't do it anywhere but like in the classroom.
Yeah.
Same. So if someone is like doing some weird rotation and you feel comfortable with them, then you go for that one.
Do you want to do it with a strap or not?
Yes, let's do it with
Why not?
With the strap. With the strap, it goes over
You should probably sew this one in here, right?
the low back, around between the legs. Is that good?
Yep.
Boom. It has to be low enough on the low back. Don't separate the sides of the strap too much. Yeah. Just tractioning is fine.
So do you feel that in your sacrum, Coco?
I don't much. I mean, I don't. I actually find that hands on the inner thighs a lot more effective for that internal rotation. It's for the internal rotation. It's a light assist, but when you go with your partner, you'll see the difference. So you'll decide which one works for you. Do you like the feeling? Is there a time you might use this one preferred over the other one? So we're hoping that you'll get sensitive once you feel it. And then practice it. And then feel it and practice it with a different body. So, how do you want to do this? 2 on 2?
We're gonna do 2 more poses, Utkatasana and what's our other pose?
0, 1.
0, 1. Okay, so let's do those 2, this and those, and then we'll just go at it. So we'll come to Utkatasana. My favorite assist for this is I come behind, bend my knees, take my hands on the hips, and just let the person kind of sit on my knees. And then depending, maybe they need to separate your hands or something. Usually it's like this. I'm gonna like come in and do like a shoulder thing as well, depending if they need like an opening in the chest. You know, you see the low back, just make sure it's not like overarched. But really, it's kind of just like giving people a support so that they can really get into their legs and lift their chest up. Coco doesn't really need that much help. Sometimes you have to be like, come up here. Okay? All right. Warrior 1. You start with the base, and the number one for Warrior 1 is grounding the back edge of the back foot. And sometimes I just do that by stepping very lightly with my toes, just on the back edge of the back foot. Okay, and then I might, so if I also want to come in and adjust her hips, I'll keep the same foot on her back foot, so left foot to left foot. I'll step forward like so I'm kind of mirroring her warrior, and I'll just take my hands on her hips and guide her to find a little bit more rotation there. Okay. Then I might take my hands again to like her back and draw her shoulder blades together. My hands are like underneath her shoulder blades, just encouraging her to lift her heart and open through her chest. Yeah. And then maybe, lifting the base of the skull if the head is sort of cracked back. So those are some options. There's more. We can keep going through them. Any others? Doing that side. Any others? Yeah.
I think it's enough.
Yeah, you can look at the front leg and like sometimes if the knee is collapsing inward, I might just come over and be like, oh, just bring your leg into my leg or something like that. Kind of like guide people. Or maybe just put my hand there. Say, press your knee into the back of my hand. And that can help people align more. Yeah. You may need to just like manually rotate someone's thigh to give them a better indication of what they should be doing. Okay.
Yeah, it's interesting, assisting with the loops.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a while to remember the loops this evening.
And did you?
Sure, yeah.
How did you? What did you do?
Well, I guess when I was struggling in some of the balance poses, and then I checked in with loops that helped me a little bit.
Yeah.
So I remembered when I was struggling. But a few times I also just remembered in downward dog, in the relaxing pose.
Yeah, and do you just do one loop or do you go through all of them? How do you work with them?
I start from the base and do loops.
Work around the body.
Yeah, I don't really have a system yet for spirals. That seems more like a sort of a one-off depending on the pose.
Sure. Anybody else try that? Applying loops in class? Is Leah the only one? Wait,
I've been paying attention to
Yeah.
yeah.
has it been informative for you?
Yeah, very,
Stuff?
very.
In an energetic way or?
Yeah, just keeping it in mind and I'm kind of making the adjustments.
Yeah. Do you work from the bottom up too?
Yeah, or at least trying to remember.
Yeah, because they create a counterbalance in the body. So when you find one, you can find the other, and then put the other one on top of the other, and they help. Anybody else using them?
So not that it's necessary during shoulder stands, but I like to watch my legs move. So I'll do them in my legs because you can see it.
Yeah.
So I find it really interesting because when you're standing, I can't anyway, really see it when I'm standing on my leg. But when I have my
And what are you looking at when you look at your legs? Are you looking at internal, external? Are you looking at loops? What are you looking at?
Mostly spirals.
Spirals?
But I've been trying to see the loops as well, because the loops I have a harder time picturing. And I saw since it seems to, like I can visually see it, I'm trying to see if I can see the loops as well.
Yeah, or apply them. I don't know if like see them, if it reminds you when you're looking at your feet. Oh, how does it work when you're not standing on your feet? The ankle loop and the shin loop and the thigh loop. I mean, it's a nice way to practice them. Absolutely. You want to practice them in every posture. So I'm just asking because I'm wondering how you're utilizing them. Like when are you thinking about them? Do you run them through your mind, one through the other? And because they're lively corrections. So you kind of have to feel them when you think about them. Are the feet collapsing? Oh, ankle loop. I have to suck through the feet like a straw and activate them. It's very active energetically when you think about them. Oh, the back of my shins are going up. Oh, the front of my thighs are lifting. Oh, the front of my hips are lifting. Oh, my rib cage is dropping. Oh, my shoulder is opening. So you just kind of have to run them through your mind and see if you can activate them in all the postures, like a broken record. Oh, work through up, go down, go up and down.
So what we're gonna do is one person is gonna teach, everyone else is gonna be paired up, and you're gonna have one person assist, one person practice. Okay? And then we'll switch partners and you'll rotate partners, so we'll like keep doing it like rotating around, so you get to like assist everyone and everyone gets to teach and everyone gets to practice.
Yeah, so start and then we'll do it like Like when you go to tango or salsa class, you have to switch partners every turn, so you get to count with everybody. So
Who wants to start?
is one person going to teach everybody at the same time? Ooh. So
Who's the brave little toaster?
how you learn.
Mila! Okay. Come on up. Everyone stand up, pair up. Pick who's practicing and pick who's assisting. Mila, go through the sun salutation A and B. And I we went to Oh, just pair up with the person next to you. You're just gonna switch again.
Oh, like do my
How do you want me to do, just instruct or to do it on somebody as she's
No. I'll go slow so that you have time, to assist. Thanks, Mila.
So sit out in Tadasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Uddita Hastasana. Exhale, Uttanasana.
Hands on the sacrum.
And can we give words, or is this all by touch?
Try to just do it by touch for now.
So nice, you're putting the weight on the balls of the feet more once you touch their sacrum or tailbone, depending on where they need the touch.
Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana.
Just one hand or two hands.
Yeah, one hand on the sacrum, the other hand lengthening forward to the spine. Yeah.
Exhale, plank. Yeah, just stay in plank. Don't lower down yet.
Put on the medium mic.
Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana.
Okay, hands on both sides, Jessica. Yep. Yep, like you're the lower limit, right? Chaturanga, you only want them to go as low as their elbows, no lower.
Chrissy, you can step over her. So, one
One
leg
leg
on
on
each
either
side of her thigh. So your legs are giving her a little information.
Urdhva Mukha Svanasana.
Yeah, go for both shoulders or both sides.
Okay.
Just one.
It's not like you were pulling my shoulder up my
You're at Urdhva, so give a assist at Urdhva Mukha Svanasana.
Yeah. Go ahead, Mila.
Ardha Mukha Svanasana.
Yes, Leah, that's good. It's nice to have the hands on the hips and help guide the hips back down.
So look for her crease, her front of her hip bone, the pelvis, for grips, for like a good grip. And then see if you can put it right on her back legs into the center of her heel. And it could be just a suggestion. Just get a sense.
Is it more?
That's one way. That's nice.
Just the slightly back with the heel of your hand more towards her
Also, like,
sacrum.
like,
In the
so
front,
yeah.
Yeah, more pressure feels better sometimes.
And then on her sacrum there, Chrissy, from the front of her body. Yeah. And now just take her sacrum and guide it towards her heel.
Try not to put your fingertips in her butt crack.
That's a pretty short dog, how's that feel?
Uttanasana.
There were,
Uttanasana.
Nice, Leah.
And Urdhva
Make sure you're fully grounded in your feet when you're giving them this. Like you have a strong mountain stance yourself.
Tadasana.
Okay, good. Now switch and she'll take you through sun salutation.
That's pretty good.
I almost like, oh, just like.
Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Uttanasana.
What would you do in this situation when she's too tall to sit?
Okay, step closer to her.
Are we pulling down?
Yeah, make her sit. She's fine.
You're perfect.
You're perfect.
Wow, see, that was so nice.
We all
Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana.
hold it for 25 minutes.
Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana.
Hannah, your hands curl around the front of her to the front of the stomach. There. You have that hand in that crease.
Inhale, spread your right.
Wait, give me one more second, I think. You're right, your timing's right. Your timing's totally right. I just had so many good times. You could do that, pull the inner thighs. The inner thighs.
Yeah, that.
I didn't do that.
It's a
for you,
crisscross.
I didn't do that for you. I didn't do the inner
What are
thighs.
we? Are we bringing?
Sure.
Pulling it back.
Oh, wow.
You're
Yeah.
pulling the inner thighs
Yeah.
back.
Actually seems like quite the.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Yeah.
Up and back.
Look at what happens to their body when you do it.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, go ahead, Mila.
Right foot forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Make sure you're fully grounded.
Yeah, Mila, you can give more cues between if you're going to go slow. See what else you could say to them to help them.
You can give cues. Bend the front knee, bend the front hip back, front the feet, bend the back foot.
Ground through your feet. Make sure your hips are squared towards the front of your mat. If you have some tension in your shoulders, just open them up and roll them slightly down and back. Keep lengthening in your neck. Beautiful. Exhale, hands down, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana.
Natasha, step on the other side of her if you're gonna do that.
Exhale,
Yeah.
Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take a couple breaths.
I'm so excited. Took a couple of sweet potato tortillas.
Nice hand.
Now left foot forward. Virabhadrasana 1. Down to the back of your heel. Lengthen up. Gorgeous. Hands down, tip it onto the
I have another problem where
Urdhva Mukha Svanasana.
I'm too short, my Shavasana.
Now we go fine.
Janine, when you do that
Don't
step on either
lose that
side.
inner rotation in your arm and thighs.
There you go, on that.
Exhale, Ardha Mukha Svanasana.
Beautiful.
Take a couple breaths, let your partner adjust you. Exhale.
No.
Oh, Ardha, yeah, Ardha. Exhale, Ardha. Uttanasana.
Inhale, Ardha. I was going to have that.
Exhale, Uttanasana. Prepare for Uttanasana.
Just think about it. It's actually fair.
Now bring your thing for 10 minutes. Let your partner adjust you. Okay, keep your shoulders down. Nice and
I'm gonna move my legs.
Find all four corners of your feet and make sure it's like almost like a fall backward.
Is there a way to help them with their knees? Stay aligned in this position? Or are you just saying it?
Does it feel like you're doing as well?
I know, but like a song.
Check if you can absolutely have it. Check if you can lift up your toes.
Oh my god. There's the drill part.
Everybody lift up your toes, please. Right. I can say it that.
That's how I felt at 7 a.m. yoga today. I was like, put your hand on the floor. What are you doing? I was like, okay, let's have a bit of feedback. How did this feel for everyone?
Go ahead and take a seat, take notes if you have to. And share some things that came up. This was really good that they did, this was a little bit off, I felt that. That was nice on the hands, it wasn't. Some feedback for your partner, group share.
What I felt the most is grounding, which was really good.
Yeah, who was working with you? Yeah, so one for grounding, what did you do? When was it really grounding?
I love the Uttanasana and the Ardha.
Yeah.
Uttanasana, and as well as this one here for the mountain pose and Uttanasana.
Yeah.
Both of those were really good for me because I feel like I tend to be like.
Yeah. So when Claudia had her hands on your hips, it was really
That was
centering.
awesome.
What else is grounding that she did?
Another grounding one was the Vera one, the back leg, and we did that one.
When she put her foot on the outside edge of yours, was really good. Because you need to tell your partner what they did that was really great and where it was like a bit off. They need your feedback to grow.
I also really like the inner, I know you said we usually don't do it in classes, but it's a little bit,
It depends.
it just really opened my lower back. I felt like my breath went straight there and it like opened up. It was great.
It was really effective. She had good grip, she had good placement.
Yeah.
And it feels weird the first time you do it too, right? Because it's like, oh, it's kind of.
Who felt awkward giving the assist? Did anyone feel awkward touching the other person?
You guys look really good.
Yeah.
How was her lengthening the back?
I worried at times, but it
Okay.
was okay. The biggest thing that I wonder is like how much pressure.
Probably more than you think you should.
But because I think that some of the softer ones are so nice. Like I really
Yeah.
like the lengthening ones, like even just like,
Yeah.
you know, it's not really doing anything, but I'm like, yes, it's so much longer.
reason why I say probably a little bit more is because it's just like you want to be clear with what you're doing, and you don't want it to feel like a caress.
Fine.
Yeah, so your intention and knowing what your intention is with the touch. Like, oh, like, that was like really not necessary. You really didn't have to come over and like pet the person. But if you're like extending it, oh, that's purposeful. But you do want to give feedback and you're learning too. Like, oh, I really liked it. It was just enough. Like they didn't need more of that. And that, in the hands on the sacrum, oh, that was really nice when they directed me exactly and put more pressure. Oh, when they really ripped the inner thighs, that was good. Like too light on the inner thighs isn't effective, right? Or just, sometimes just placing your foot on the back foot is enough to tell them what to do. Sometimes they need more, so you're starting to develop that sensitivity here.
Couple of things that we talked about remembering before you put your hands on someone is number one, just make sure you're grounded. So your stance should be really centered and strong. So don't like go in and like be like assisting someone like this, okay? Like feet on the ground, like knees
so like,
bent,
we're
like
doing
get in
some,
there.
Like there, and you kind of can't.
Yeah, like there was a lot of like this to turn around, you know what I mean? You kind of want to just like, you want to be like,
Really ready for that to go to the next pose.
yeah, if you get over here, there's no way for you to do the up down thing.
And you kind of take them off.
Yeah.
Because you're at center. You take them off their center.
And then it can be confusing. You want to really make sure you're noticing their breath. The number one thing is they have to be breathing. That's the only cue you give. If there's no breath, then just breathe. Right? Don't touch them. Because they breathe. And just make sure you know what you're doing. You're being clear about how you're going to put your hands on someone. And if you're not clear, then just don't do it. Okay.
In some class like that, if you're assisting when somebody else is giving instructions, you have to work to their breath. If you're working with them, maybe one-on-one, you have the timing and someone else isn't leading. You could say inhale, and then you take them, then exhale. You can lead them with your instruction for their breath. You instructing their breath, so you can tell where you want to go.
It's both easier and harder.
I felt like the one from Downward Dog from the front, putting the hand on the sacrum, I felt like really confident giving more pressure there, because there's more distance in that assist than in other ones, and so I just felt like I could sort of lean into it more.
Yeah.
A little more
and you're looking
ginger.
to feel.
about that one. I forgot to do that one.
How was that for everybody? The hands on the sacrum. Was it nice?
Where do you put your feet?
That's like your feet are in warrior stance.
In between the feet.
So like I'm pressing the sacrum back and up.
Sometimes I put two hands on.
Yeah, you could do two.
And you are stacking the bones, but there's a subtlety to that. Hopefully we'll do this a couple more times where you're setting their hip bones right over their heel bone. Like you can push back, but then there's another way that you're pushing their bones right on top of the knee and the ankle, the heel.
You mean in Uttanasana?
In downward dog.
How do you see it?
Yeah, because you're really good at that.
You want me to do it?
Should I go this way or which way should I face? So you can just have your hand on their sacrum. It's still maybe effective. And then you could know that you're sending their pelvis over the heels.
Yeah, I lift my fingers
okay.
up and away from her butt.
But I actually like to move my hands in.
And that's the subtlety of assist. You're starting to learn just how much it's hard.
Okay, want to do it again?
Yeah. That's how I answered that in my shirt.
Who wants to be the leader this time?
It's nice if you can softly say that that's really good when they do something that's really good, so they know that they're getting it. Or, like if you don't have time to give more instruction, just go, and they'll just take a note and figure out what to do.
Because sometimes it's not exactly right.
So switch partners and, try to switch so that you can assist for A and B. If you did the other one last time, it's not that big of a deal.
Touch me.
I did the first one.
No, actually.
Yes.
My hands are really
Okay, let
Shall I
Sorry,
go?
Deirdre, can you go on that then?
Do it on
I
there.
just want you to scoot over so you see better.
Okay, so exhale Tadasana. Inhale Utthita Hastasana. Exhale Uttanasana. Inhale Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale Uttanasana. Jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale Ardha Mukha Svanasana. Adho Mukha Svanasana.
I like that you did her ankles, so far.
Exhale here. Inhale 1. Exhale. Inhale 2. Exhale. Inhale 3. Exhale. Inhale 4. Exhale. Inhale 5. On the next exhale, jump forward to Ardha Uttanasana.
Inhale.
Inhale. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, Tadasana. All right, next one.
So maybe try it again, find her in the press, and then lift her up to go over instead of. Yeah, like grab the.
Yeah, it's just like slightly. That's all right.
Yeah, you want her to slide here.
Yeah. I think you just have to do this, it's just in
No, find her front of the hip. Find her front hip crease. Where it would be.
Yeah, kind of more.
Yeah, and now use it like you were actually gonna turn her like a hinge. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
better,
Feel better?
yeah, better. Why did you like so far apart?
Not
Okay, exhale Tadasana. Inhale Utthita Hastasana.
Yep.
Oh, go to the next one.
Good.
I'm switching.
No, stay, you guys can stay. Have the same person as things if you want. Did they practice grounding as the arms go up
I
on the
know we
feet?
did the egg, I put it on the next round.
Yeah, we talked.
I know, I just wondered if the back was supposed to be tucked in into Tadasana, yeah.
Okay, so exhale Tadasana. Inhale Utkatasana. Exhale Uttanasana.
Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Jump back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 5 breaths here.
Not yet, not 5 breaths yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, right, sorry. Right foot forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale all the way up. Exhale. Back to Chaturanga Dandasana. Sorry. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Left foot forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale up.
Nice, Jessica.
Exhale back to Adho Mukha Svanasana. Or, sorry, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale to Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. 5 breaths here on your own time.
There's a strap too, if that was something you wanted
A little feedback.
Yes.
Okay. That's the internal rotation. And when you're ready, inhale back to the top of your mat at Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana.
Post-it note right
Okay, how'd it go?
Much better, yeah.
Give your person feedback.
So,
I just figure out what I did and What's the question?
It was less, it just felt like it was less up and down.
I just did
Down.
the
I think
appliance.
it's
It rotated a lot, but I felt like it, like.
so I felt like I was like going down, closer to the ground. Yeah, so it's still around.
Maybe that, maybe. Yeah, because you moved your chest back towards your thigh. Yeah, it could have, and then it. It actually necessitated training. All right, guys, let's do it again. Let's do it one more time.
There's so much to say, there's so much to do.
So let's pick one more person to lead. Who wants to lead this time?
It's gonna be the last person leaving for the night. So somebody jump in.
Wait, we didn't switch, did we switch?
No, you're gonna switch.
Oh, we're gonna switch, okay.
I'll lead. Okay, Janine will lead.
All right,
So
Janine.
Jessica needs the, Hannah and Jessica will go together. And then you guys can stay with the same partners if you didn't switch, and then just switch this time if that's. If you switch, then maybe you can switch partners.
Did you switch?
Okay, just
Yeah,
switch.
Jeff-
Do you want to, do you want to do the, which parts do you want to play?
Do you want to play?
Okay, I'll let, do you want to switch one time, and then I'll.
All right, here we go. Okay. Everybody step to the top of the mat. Exhale into Tadasana. Inhale, Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Step back, Chaturanga Dandasana. Lower down halfway. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Nice climbing.
Unless we get the angle. I wasn't thinking that angle to hold me.
What did she need?
More
right over?
Yeah, more for it, yeah, that's right, yep. So you can do it sometimes.
Yeah, I think for some reason. this
Okay.
angle was-
Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Tadasana. Oh, inhale, Tadasana. Exhale, Tadasana. Okay, switch if you want or stay.
Yeah.
Even here, or what I just.
When you're like down.
Yes.
All right, whoever's playing the yoga roll. Exhale, Tadasana. Inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Other hand forward.
When you're assisting Ardha Uttanasana, it's easier to step on the side of them than work from the back.
Yeah, that's good, little on the back.
Go ahead. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Hiya! Pick everything up you knocked over. Inhale, right leg forward, Virabhadrasana 1. That was nice contraction. Yeah, I think this Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, left leg forward, Virabhadrasana 1. Nice leg. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha Svanasana. Exhale, Adho Mukha Svanasana.
Little lower.
Come up higher on her hips, on the sides of her hips. Yep. Come down her back. Yep, a little more.
Pressure good?
Yeah, that's right. So that feels like it's pushing down, like, yeah.
Inhale, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, Uttanasana. Inhale, Utkatasana.
How'd you feel on that? Did you feel okay on that?
With the
Yeah.
person
Yeah.
on here.
You what?
I could use a little guidance right here. You know, either be There's different ways to, yeah, that's not good, just a little higher, just higher. Nice.
So hopefully you're starting to notice when you're doing it, there's a way to do the adjustment and then kind of communicate to them with their hands. Okay, you're gonna be holding this and not just like push it and then walk away. There's a little information that you're giving, hold it, you're kind of communicating to them. Hold this, because you're gonna, without even using words,
that you're gonna step away, they have to hold it themselves. So you just go in, pull it, and then exit. You kind of like help them find it slowly, gradually, and then you start to kind of ease off so they know that they're gonna have to hold it on their own. Right, there's those subtleties when you're in there, and then you're not crunching them down, nobody did that. But then you're looking for nice hand grips, like right places, you wanna look for the right angle to adjust them, so very hard to do Uttanasana from behind. So you want to step to the side of the body, so you can really you can be grounded and communicate what you need to. So, and then that's not like just on, it's like off, you're communicating pressure, and then easing it off is communicating to them how to take your correction, right? There's a whole lot of communication going through.
If you do accidentally touch somebody inappropriately or too fast, is there some way to address that, or do you just like, all right?
Yeah.
You can say, oh, sorry, that wasn't it. And especially now, you want the feedback, like, oh, there was a lot over here for Leah's particular body type and angle of her downward dog. Chrissy had her hands in the right place on the sacrum, but it didn't work to line Leah's bones up. She had to find a whole new place to place her hands that got her pelvis right over her heels. So you can start to learn from each person's body type when they say, oh, that's not quite it, and then find a new one, and then you're gonna find, oh, that's it. And then you'll feel what it feels like to be on. And then you'll start knowing when you have hands on, what is actually placing their bones where they need to be. You know, with the right amount of touch. How'd it go, everybody? Good. Did you get a lot of information? A lot of what was working and what wasn't working? Did you have a chance to tell your partner more or less some of them? Good. So this is an art, we're gonna keep working on it, but you're starting to get a sense. Any last shares that you wanna say, that you got, that you didn't get, that was weird? Placing yourself, did you have enough room? Were you fine?
What do you want to say?
Oh, I was gonna say it was really exciting for it not to be weird. Because I remember I think especially when I led the class, that I remember the only other time I did it was so awkward. And
Yeah.
this time, like, oh, I'm just like a yoga teacher.
Good. Nice job, everybody.
Yeah,
That was so
really
good.
impressive. You guys are like naturals, all of you. And then we'll practice a little bit more, right?
Yeah, so we'll come in the morning, we'll do a nice Ashtanga practice and breath work before we start. And we'll get all that done in the morning session, a little Yoga Sutras, and then we have Rose Erin coming. She's gonna teach us anatomy on the spine. So if you feel like reviewing a little bit of the spine, you'll get more from her, giving you all.
I think she's doing the legs.
Um,
She's doing pelvis.
Yeah, I think she's doing spine and pelvis
And she's
tomorrow.
gonna go, she wants to do the clay thing too.
Oh, does she? Is that tomorrow?
That's tomorrow, next week.
Yeah, that's
She's
good.
gonna come another weekend too.
I think we have 2 or 3. But yeah, so you'll get an anatomy lesson to review the spine and the pelvis and the bones, so you can get the most out of it. Like if you're familiar with it, when she says it, you're not gonna be like, oh, what was that? So take a minute tonight, just look it over, like the name, so you're familiar. So you can get the most out of her expertise.
That's it, have a great night.
Yeah, have a great night, good job. I think you can leave everything where they are, all the mats, and then we'll come in ready to work tomorrow.
Have a great night.
Welcome back. Good job.
Gesundheit.
So Coco, I did lose my phone, and I called it right before class, and somebody found it, and she has it, and I'm gonna go pick it up. I was like, thank you so much for my phone. And she's like, yeah, great, and it was still like,
Is that what you're gonna do, take the train back? Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah, she was there.
she was the class. I wrote it down.
You should be.
Like 2 weeks. Oh, I just have it, but I think that's.
Oh, yeah.
That's in the Lower East Side, are you sure it's Remington? Is it, it's not Remington?
Well, yeah, so it says Riverton, but then it's not a place. Yeah, so it's Riverton and it's just a joke.
Yes.
Yeah, that was taken.